iPhone through Apple. And it is a free app. You can just go online or use your phone or your iPad or tablet and you can download it. It is only available on your mobile devices because it has a GPS tracking as part of the app. So your computer at home really doesn't do any good. So that's not what it's really set up, designed for, or programmed for. We'll just go through the graffiti app, but there's lots of different types of things that you can note and report. But this is just walking through one of the types of things that you can use the app for. It starts out with a service request. Now, by the way, I would like to thank one of my staff for doing this, Nadia Cook. She's the one that put this together. I'm the dinosaur that doesn't really do screenshots very well. So this is really her baby. So the next thing you do is pick from a list of things that you want to report. In this case, it would be graffiti. And then the type of surface that it's on, as you can see the list that you can pick from. And then you can either take a picture as part of it, or if you already have taken a picture, you can download either one, and it'll go to the graffiti removal specialist. You can enter the location. It's usually GPS tracking, so it'll verify your address and where your location is. If you're standing there, it certainly will. This portion is optional. You don't have to put your phone number or your name or email. That's just if you want to be notified when it has been removed. So again, that's just voluntary. You can be anonymous in this reporting. And that's not my phone number. I know, just don't worry about that. And so then this is what goes into the application for the graffiti removal technician. It's uploaded, and he will use the GPS coordinates to figure out where to respond to first. And then as a final, you will get a copy of the clean surface back as part of the app if you requested that and given your email address, and he'll show you what it looks like after he took care of the graffiti that's on the wall. And here's a list of all the things that you can report. Dumping parks, people that are wasting water, whatever you pick from, go to that particular item that's highlighted there. Go through the same routine that you just saw for graffiti, and you can use it to report any of these situations.
Parks.
That I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does council have any questions?
It works great. Ask Adam.
I have a question. Do we have any sense of how many employees have it loaded on their smartphones?
I do not know.
And then
it's
how
on
many
mine.
actually use it?
I use it all the time.
All right. Good job.
I saw those hands in the back. Thank you for that. And did you say, maybe I missed, how many people total? Do you know how many people have downloaded the app?
I do not know, but we could find out.
That's fine. I'd be interested to know, wouldn't you?
I don't know if GPC can actually define who it is that's a City of Fullerton resident, an employee versus just in general. But
At this point, it'd just be good to know how many downloads are.
I'll find out and get back to you in 2 weeks.
Do you have any sense of how many work orders are generated?
We've got probably, I want to say around 200,000 reports that he's done in the last year. I'm sorry, 200,000 square feet. That's, I think it was around 20,000 reports.
You know, the one thing missing from this list is downed streetlights. It has downed limbs, but downed streetlights were, you know,
The emergency.
It does have street lights, so you can probably put that in the app is what the issue is.
A little more than a light bulb change, though.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I would just reiterate what Mr. Hoppy said. The app is super easy to use, as you can see, and the staff is incredibly responsive in fixing the problems that you identify. So you're the one that's taking walks in your neighborhood early in the morning. You're the one that's driving home at night down your street. You see the problems, whereas city staff can't be everywhere all the time. So it's really, we really depend on, you know, everyone to take that ownership and that investment and help us fix what's going on in your neighborhood. So thanks, Mr. Hoppy, very much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and go to public comments. City Clerk, I think you said you had about 6 or 7?
We have 8 now.
Okay, 8 public comments. So if you are here for public comments, and that is to speak on items not listed on our agenda, if you could please come up and line up against the wall, we'll take you in order. So I see 1, if you want to come up and that would be terrific.
Good evening.
read some articles from the Fullerton Observer and the Orange County Register, not that I believe them all, but I read them anyway, specifically comments made by the council at the decision on my settlement. I just want to go over a couple things to assist the city, which I'll continue to do, in the efforts. Mr. Whitaker, I know you're concerned with, and you've been extremely supportive through all of this, I know you're concerned with the settlement is defeat to the transparency policy. Those are your words. I understand what you mean. Mr. Seaborn, you had similar comments, and I'll get to those. Some of them were, the city council were being blindfolded, hands were bound, ears plugged, all those kind of things. And I understand what you mean, really restrained from understanding anything. However, I did not see anybody here from this council attend the criminal trial or the civil processes at all. You would have found out a lot of answers. My suggestions, as I get under 2 minutes now, is get a hold of Dana Fox, your representative in the civil matter. You have the absolute right to view all of those depositions. I have. You will get all of your answers, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Seaborn, by reading those depositions. I guarantee it. You want the truth to come out? The truth is in there. There's no doubt about that. And then what I want you to do, in the spirit of transparency, is take those depositions, put them on your website, and make them public, so everybody can know the truth. You want transparency? You'll be getting transparency, you'll be delivering transparency. What I've learned through all of this, and of course they gag me from talking about it or I go to jail, is a tremendous amount of information, both good and bad. But what the other things you're going to learn in this is how to build from this, how to fix the problem, better solutions. I think that's what we all want, working together. So none of this happens again, and we can move forward in a positive direction, which is all I've ever wanted to do. If you have any questions, please get a hold of me. All of you know how. You can. And I'd be glad to talk to you. Absolutely. Get those depositions. They're your property. You have a right to view every bit of evidence gathered by your defense. Dana Fox is your legal representation of this. He has them. You have not signed anything stating that you can't view it or talk about it, like I have and several others have. I invite you to do this and then let it be known to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. If you have filled out a speaker form, there are 8 of you. Could you please come and line up along the side so we can, who else do you have?
I was looking at these
Hi.
forms.
Very good.
It looks like it may be for specific.
Oh, okay.
I think we're not aligned. We're not aligned.
If you have a form and you want to pull an item, we've got your number. We'll make sure to get pulled at that point.
I don't know, I'm number 4, he's number 6, maybe.
That's great. Please come down. Just so long as you fill out a speaker form, that's terrific.
Hello, good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Joanne Sosa. I'm speaking on behalf of Lemore Correa Jr. And the family. So I'm going to take you back to 2014 when one of our students, was actually a student that with the fire department in Anaheim, was killed on Royal and Baston Cherry, going down that steep embankment and into a blind corner.
Yes,
we,
I
at
did.
that time, had come with the family and with some teachers and other people with petitions with regards to how you could put a barrier to stop any further tragedy. And so we did get a lot of good input. It was covered by the media. Mr. Whitaker also told us that this is something you guys should be addressing. But here's the issue now. It's been about a year or so. So I'm just asking what's been done. And hopefully not a temporary barrier that kids can move, but something more permanent. So I'm asking what has been done. That's my question to you, so I can give that to the family. And they're still grieving over the loss of their son. This young man was the top of the ROTC program at Anaheim High School. He was with our organization, actually that worked with our fire department. He was one of the young mentors in a class called Flame, which is Fire Leadership and Mentoring Experience. He was a young man who would go out of his way to get kids off the street and away from gangs. And it's a terrible loss. We're still feeling the impact of his loss, the loss of this young life. So please answer that if you can. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And I am sorry for your loss. When we get done with public